Look at me. Stop scrolling and listen. You have been lied to. For your entire life, society has handed you a broken script. Go to school, get a degree, get a safe job, save 10% of your paycheck into a savings account that pays you nothing. And then, if you are lucky, maybe, just maybe, you can retire when you are 65, too old to enjoy it, and praying that inflation doesn't eat your entire life's work. Does that sound like a plan? Or does that sound like a trap? I see people in the comments every day. I'll just work hard. I'll just save more. Math doesn't care about your hard work. Inflation is currently eating your cash at a rate that makes your savings account look like a joke. If your money is sleeping, you are losing every single second. But there is a third option, a path the wealthy have used for 100 years to stay wealthy while doing absolutely nothing. It is called the silent engine. It's not crypto gambling. It's not day trading. It is building a machine that prints cash whether you get out of bed or not. Today, I am going to tear down the complicated jargon. I am going to show you exactly how to build a dividend growth portfolio from scratch. I will show you the 3 buckets you need, the specific tickers that actually work in 2026, and the yield traps that will bankrupt you if you aren't careful. This is the blueprint. The rest is up to you. Why the S&P 500 isn't enough. Let's get the ugly truth out of the way first. Why do you need this? Why can't you just buy the S&P 500 and hope for the best? Because the market is volatile. We have seen crashes in 2000, 2008, 2020. When the market crashes 30%, what do most people do? They panic, they sell, they lock in their losses and destroy their future. This is human psychology. You cannot fight it. When your portfolio drops by $50,000 overnight, you will feel pain. But dividend investors are different. We are built different. When the market crashes, the price of the stock goes down, but the dividend check keeps coming. In fact, if you pick the right companies, that check gets bigger every single year, even during a recession. Think of it like this. You own a rental house. The value of the house might go up or down next week. Does that matter? No. As long as the tenant pays the rent on the first of the month, you are making money. Dividends are the rent you collect from the biggest, most powerful companies in the world. Apple pays you rent. Microsoft pays you rent. Realty Income pays you rent. And the best part, you don't have to fix the toilet. The strategy. The 3-bucket system. Most beginners fail because they chase the shiny object. They see a stock with a 15% yield and they dump their life savings into it. 6 months later, the company cuts the dividend, the stock tanks, and they are broke. Do not be a yield chaser. Be a portfolio architect. We are going to build this using the 3-bucket system. This is the only structure that balances safety with explosive wealth. Bucket number 1, the foundation. This is your safety net. This bucket is boring, it is slow, and it will save your life. The goal of the foundation is capital preservation and consistent growth. We are looking for companies that have raised their dividends for 10, 20, even 50 years in a row. These are the dividend aristocrats. In this bucket, we are looking for ETFs, exchange-traded funds. Why? Because I don't want you betting your retirement on a single company. If Enron taught us anything, it's that even giants can fall. The king of this bucket is SCHD, Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF. Why is this the holy grail? It's not just because I say so, it's the methodology. SCHD doesn't just pick random stocks. It filters for companies with strong cash flow, low debt, and a history of paying you. It filters out the trash for you. Historically, this fund has compounded at a rate that rivals the S&P 500, but with less volatility. When the market zigs, SCHD stabilizes. Another option here is VIG, Vanguard Dividend Appreciation. This one focuses less on high yield and more on companies that are increasing their payouts aggressively. Your allocation? This should be 40% to 50% of your total portfolio. This is the concrete slab under your house. If this cracks, everything falls. Bucket number 2, the accelerators. If you only buy safe, boring dividend stocks, you have a problem. You might not beat inflation. You need growth. You need exposure to the companies that are changing the world. This bucket is for dividend growth. These companies pay a smaller dividend today, maybe 1% or 0.5%, but they are growing that dividend by 15% or 20% every year. Let's look at the math. If you buy a stock with a 10% yield, it usually doesn't grow. It stays flat. But if you buy a stock like Microsoft, MSFT, or Visa, V, the yield is low today. But in 10 years, that yield on cost could be massive because the stock price has tripled. In this bucket, we are also looking at an ETF like DGRO, iShares Core Dividend Growth. It gives you exposure to tech, healthcare, and financials, sectors that actually grow. The psychology. You need this bucket because watching your portfolio value go up keeps you motivated. If your portfolio stays flat for 5 years, you will quit. Bucket number 2 ensures your net worth climbs. Allocation, 30% of your portfolio. Before we move on, I need you to understand one concept. This is the secret weapon of Warren Buffett. It is called yield on cost. When Buffett bought Coca-Cola in 1988, the dividend yield was around 3%. Boring, right? But he never sold. He held it. And Coca-Cola raised the dividend every single year. Today, Buffett receives a dividend check every year that equals roughly 50% of his original investment. Think about that. He gets half his money back every single year just for holding. This is why bucket number 2 matters. You are not buying a 1% yield. You are buying a future 50% yield. You are planting an apple tree. Today, it looks like a twig. In 20 years, it feeds your whole family. Do not underestimate the power of starting small. Bucket number 3, the income generators. Now we get to the fun part, the I want to quit my job tomorrow bucket. This bucket is designed for one thing, cash flow now. We are looking for high yield. We are looking for monthly payers. We want to see that cash hitting the account every 30 days so we can pay bills or, more importantly, reinvest it to buy more shares. The heavy hitter here is Realty Income, ticker O. They call themselves the Monthly Dividend Company. They own thousands of 7-Eleven stores, Dollar Generals, and Walgreens. When you buy a share of O, you are essentially becoming a landlord. But instead of fixing a leaky roof at 2 a.m., you just collect a check. They have paid a dividend for over 600 consecutive months. That is consistency you can't fake. Another favorite is Main Street Capital. They lend money to medium-sized businesses. They are a BDC, business development company. High yield, monthly pay, special dividends. And finally, the controversial one, JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Premium Income. This uses covered calls to generate massive yields, sometimes 7%, 8%, or 10%. Warning, this is not for growth. The price of JEPI will likely stay flat. This is pure income. Use it to boost your cash flow, but do not make it your whole portfolio. Allocation, 20% to 30%. Do not go higher than this unless you are already retired. The yield trap and expense ratio. Now, stop dreaming about the money and listen closely. This is where I save you from financial ruin. There is a trap in the dividend world. It's called the yield trap. You will screen for stocks and see a company. Let's call it Company X, paying a 14% dividend yield. You think, wow, if I put in $10,000, I get $1,400 a year. Free money. Wrong. Usually a yield is that high because the stock price has crashed. Why did the stock crash? Because the business is failing. Here is the one metric you must check. The payout ratio. This measures how much of the company's profit is being paid out as dividends. If a company makes $1 in profit and pays out 50 cents, that is a 50% payout ratio. Safe. Sustainable. If a company makes $1 and pays out $1.50, that is a 150% payout ratio. They are borrowing money or selling assets just to pay you. This is a ticking time bomb. Eventually, they will cut the dividend. And when they cut the dividend, the stock price drops another 40%. You lose your income and your principal. Rule of thumb, REITs, real estate. Look for AFFO payout ratio under 90%. Regular stocks, look for payout ratio under 60%. If the yield is over 8%, assume it is a trap until proven otherwise. Don't be a sucker. If it looks too good to be true, it is. There is one more trap. It's not the market, it's the middleman. It is called the expense ratio. If you go to a traditional financial advisor or buy a generic mutual fund, they might charge you a 1% or 2% fee. They say, it's only 1%, don't worry about it. Worry about it. On a $100,000 portfolio, a 1% fee over 30 years doesn't cost you $1,000. Because of lost compounding, it can cost you over $50,000. That is a brand new Mercedes-Benz that you just handed to a guy in a suit for doing absolutely nothing. The ETFs I mentioned, SCHD, VIG, DGRO, their fees are tiny, usually 0.06% or less. Keep your fees low. Keep your money yours. Do not feed the bankers. The tax hack. You work hard. You invest smart. You pick the right stocks, and then Uncle Sam shows up and takes 30% of your dividends. Dividends are taxable events. If you hold these in a regular brokerage account, you will owe taxes every single year, even if you reinvest the money. This creates a tax drag that slows down your compounding. If you are in the United States, you have a weapon. It is called the Roth IRA. In a Roth IRA, you pay taxes on the money before you put it in. But once it is in there, it grows tax-free. The dividends? Tax-free. The capital gains? Tax-free. When you retire and pull that money out? Tax-free. If you are building a dividend portfolio, max out your Roth IRA first. Do not volunteer to pay taxes you don't have to pay. That is not patriotism. That is financial illiteracy. The roadmap. $0 to $100,000. But I don't have $100,000. I have $50. Good. That is all you need to start. The biggest lie is that you need money to make money. Number. You need time and discipline to make money. Here's your exact roadmap, step by step. Phase 1. The scrape. $0 to $1,000. Your goal here is survival. You need to enable DRIP, Dividend Reinvestment Plan. Most brokers allow this for free. It means when Coca-Cola pays you 50 cents, you don't buy a gumball. You automatically buy 50 cents worth of Coca-Cola stock. Focus. Buy one share of SCHD, then another, then another. Do not get fancy. Just build the foundation. Phase 2. The snowball, $1,000 to $10,000. Now you diversify. Add your bucket number 2, growth. Buy some DGRO. Buy some Realty Income O to get that monthly motivation. The feeling, you will get a notification saying you received a dividend of $4.20. It's not enough to buy lunch, but it feels amazing because you didn't work for it. Phase 3, the velocity, $10,000 to $100,000. This is the hardest phase. This is the boring middle. You have to keep contributing every month, but somewhere in this phase you will hit the crossover point. This is when your annual dividends earn more than your annual contribution. Example, you save $5,000 a year from your job, but your portfolio generates $5,500 a year in dividends. Congratulations, you just cloned yourself. You now have a second employee working 24/7 for you. The rule of 72 and the cost of waiting. Let me show you why you need to start today, not tomorrow. I want to give you a mental tool. It is called the rule of 72. If you want to know how fast your money will double, take the number 72 and divide it by your rate of return. If you leave your money in a bank getting 0.01% interest, It will take you 7,200 years to double your money. You will be dead. Your great-great-grandchildren will be dead. But if you get a 10% return in this dividend portfolio, your money doubles every 7.2 years. Then it doubles again and again. Let's say you invest $500 a month. In year 1, you barely notice the dividends. Maybe you buy a coffee. In year 10, the silent engine is paying your car payment. In year 20, it covers your mortgage. In year 30, it covers your entire life. But if you wait 5 years to start, you don't just lose the first 5 years, you lose the last 5 years of compounding, which is where the millions are made. Time in the market beats timing the market. Every day you wait is a day your money is sleeping instead of working. The choice. I have given you the blueprint. I have shown you the buckets. I have warned you about the traps. Now you have a choice. You can close this video, open TikTok, and go back to scrolling your life away. You can go back to complaining that the system is rigged and that you will never be rich. Or you can take $5, just $5, open a brokerage account, and buy your first fraction of a share. Be the person who builds the engine, not the person who works for the machine. Your turn.